Last Wednesday, Twitch suffered the biggest hack in its history. Its entire source code got leaked, as well as details of a secret project that Amazon's been working on, and a list of alleged earnings for Twitch's top streamers dating back to 2019. That's right, we now have a much better idea of how much Twitch's top dogs are actually pulling in. The leak also contained what appears to be a list of Twitch's do not ban streamers. It's crazy. The whole thing is crazy, but what's even crazier is that the person who leaked this says that all of this is only part one. Alright then, the only people in the world who don't like big leaks are companies, governments, and boat captains. So unless you're one of them, I suggest you subscribe to theScore Esports, and that way you'll never miss a video just like this one. Do it. Come on. Do it. On Monday last week, Twitch joined in with the rest of the world in memeing on Facebook being down for most of the day. But if we made a list of tweets taken moments before disasters, this would definitely be up there. Oh yeah, big time.
So the Twitch thing was leaked. We now know how much every single streamer has made on twitch.tv in the past 26 months, a little over 2 years. And we're going to play a little game of higher lower, where we are going to check which streamer has made more money and is thus a more valuable human. Bigger number, better person, of course, is the name of the game. This was made by Automated. Shout outs to Auto as always.
On Wednesday, October 6th, a 4chan user shared a link to a 125GB torrent, which they described as an extremely poggers leak involving Twitch. Now, they claimed it contained the entirety of Twitch's source code, going back to its origin, a list of every property owned by Twitch, as well as details of an unreleased Steam competitor from Amazon Game Studios called Vapor. All of that sounds juicy, of course, but what really made everyone lose their shit was this. They also claimed the torrent contained creator payout reports from 2019 up to the present and encouraged people to find out how much money their favorite streamer is making. Twitter user Knows Something was one of the first to trawl through the files to find details of Twitch streamer payouts. They first showed Twitch payouts for the month of September 2021, and we can see big names on there, such as Shroud, Hassan, Ludwig, Mizkif, Amaranth, Asmongold. I mean, the list just goes on. Pause if you want to take a closer look. Honestly, I think we've covered just about half the people here on Don't At Me. The even juicier numbers came next though, with a list of the top 100 highest paid Twitch streamers from August 2019 until October 2021. The top 80 streamers were all paid over $1 million by Twitch, and the numbers get quite eye-watering near the top. We've got Tim the Tapman making $3.2 million over the past 2 years, same with Ludwig, over $5 million for Nick Merckx, Summit 1G just below 6 million, XQC with a whopping 8.4 million, and Critical Role almost making $10 million over this period. Now, we're not going to go through every name here, of course, but basically, if they're big on Twitch, they're on this list. And as Know Nothing pointed out in a final tweet, this is just a fraction of what streamers actually earn when you take into account things like donations and sponsorships, which can be, of course, incredibly lucrative. So what exactly are we looking at when we see these figures? Well, it's difficult to know where exactly every dollar comes from, but it's safe to say it's within the Twitch ecosystem. We know that for every subscription, Twitch splits the revenue with the streamer. For some streamers, this revenue, along with donations, is the vast majority of their income, but for the faces that dominate Twitch, they could also be pulling in a lot more from outside sponsorship sources. This is something that Moist Critical, who appeared at number 22 on the list himself, was very explicit about in his video on the leak.
The numbers that were released in the leak yesterday are wrong. They're too low. The streamers on that list, every single one of them, well, at least for like the top 100, are making significantly more than is represented on those leaks. Those leaks only cover subs and ads. They are not covering the donations through Streamlabs because that doesn't go through Twitch, so they wouldn't have access to those numbers. And they're also not counting sponsors, and they're also not counting Twitch contracts. A lot of the top 50 streamers on there have contracts with Twitch, which add a significant chunk of money to streamers' income.
Within a few hours of the leak, Twitch tweeted out confirming that a breach had taken place and they were working to understand the extent of it. Later that night, an advisory on Twitch's blog explained that the data was exposed due to an error in a Twitch server configuration that allowed the hacker to access it. They added that their investigation is still ongoing to understand the impact in detail and that they have no indication that login credentials of Twitch users have been compromised. But I mean, if you haven't changed your password already, maybe do that. Now you might think that Twitch streamers would be mortified that at least part of their income is now known to the public, but for the most part, they seem to find it funny, at least on the surface.
Then I kept scrolling down, I was like, I don't gotta worry. My name is not gonna be on here, obviously. Hey, I don't make enough. Hey, you guys know how stream it is. And then I see this. Bro, how sad is it that that whoever hacked it photoshopped me in this as well to make it look like I'm making money at all. Working the hardest job on the planet. Dude, they don't want a brother to succeed. I swear to God. So this is obviously fake news. Obviously this is fake news.
A lot of big names on Twitch started to jokingly refer to each other on Twitter by the number they appeared on the list. It was all fun and games, and they didn't seem to be annoyed that a lapse by Twitch had ended up with part of their income being leaked.
As Miss 39, I just want to say, Milena, if you're watching this, I'm number 39. And well, Myth and Nick, sub 100 and they're cumulatively poor. So if you really want to take it to the next level,
perhaps the most ridiculous thing that I've seen from all of this has to be that someone made an extension for Twitch that shows every streamer's rank on the list next to their name.
Oh, cool. I got rainbow. Look at that. How do you get that, Otto? That's a fire extension.
The thing is, we all know that the top Twitch streamers make bank. It was probably the worst kept secret on the internet that the big names are loaded. Despite this, some people have called out the big streamers for not being transparent about how well off they are. This was something that Moist Critical was quick to clap back on.
People were getting mad at me like, oh, so Charlie, it turns out you make money on Twitch. You're ranked 22 in the world on Twitch in terms of earning. How fucking disgusting. How could you mislead us, Charlie? And I just don't get it, because I'm not misleading anyone. Just because I'm not some douchebag who flexes their wealth all the time doesn't mean that I don't have money. I know I dress like a cartoon character and all that, but it doesn't mean that I am not well off. I'm extremely lucky and fortunate to be in the position that I'm in, and I make that very clear all the time.
For a streamer like Saikuno though, who came in at number 28 on the list, he's been pretty shocked by some of the backlash.
Basically what happened for me was someone took a out-of-date clip out of context and tried to make it like I was saying I was poor or something. When literally 5 seconds before the clip they cut, I said, I'm not poor and I can afford most things I want. And then for some reason they left that part out. Because literally like 5 seconds, maybe not exactly 5, but you know what? Literally right before I said, I'm not poor, I'm doing fine. And here's what I really think. Guys, people are like, Saikuno says he can't pay his water bill to get subs. And I'm like, look guys, you must think I have the nicest landlord on the planet if I never pay my water bill and they haven't kicked me out yet.
Now, it's important to remember here that the numbers and names we're seeing represent the absolute cream of the crop on Twitch. Most streamers can only dream of making even a fraction of these amounts. As tech and commentator Rip pointed out, the leak covers the top 10,000 streams on Twitch. According to Google's data, Twitch has a total of 9.2 million active streamers, which means this leak accounts for just 0.1% of the total streamers. Reddit user The Ultra Sheeplord put together a graph demonstrating the streamers' revenue compared to their rank, and added that according to the data, the top 10% of streamers in the top 10,000 make almost half of the total revenue on Twitch. So that means that the other 90% of Twitch streamers are making the other half of the revenue. The point here is, don't drop out of school or walk out of your job today to become a Twitch streamer because of this leak. On Twitter, streamer Alinity said the leak should be proof that people shouldn't become a streamer for the money, as very few people make it. A few days after all this, a Reddit user posted another part of the leak to Asmongold's subreddit. Now this time, it had nothing to do with how much Twitch streamers were earning. It appeared to be a list of streamers and reasons to not ban them. Some of the reasons look like attempts to catch mistaken bans before they happen, usually to do with a streamer's name. But right there, we can also see big names like RiceGum and Tyler1 with a message telling the reader to not suspend them and to escalate any violations to what are presumably a pair of higher-ups at Twitch. Another strange part of this past week, which may or may not be related to the leak, are the Jeff Bezos faces that have been popping up all over Twitch. Users reported that the headers of games on Twitch had been replaced with a very zoomed-in image of Jeff Bezos, the billionaire founder of Amazon, which Twitch is owned by. Now, although this didn't last long, it was pretty bizarre to see and could have something to do with Twitch's source code being leaked, as well as everything else we've talked about. It really was quite weird.
The top is Jeff Bezos over here. Is that Jeff Bezos?
All that aside, it's time for our next question now. Why did this happen? Obviously, hackers like to hack, it's kind of their thing, but what was the intent behind this? Well, taking a look at the original 4chan post again, we can see that the user referred to Twitch's community as a disgusting toxic cesspool, and that their aim with the leak was to generate disruption for Twitch and create more competition for them. They then sign off the post with the hashtag #DoBetterTwitch. Now you may recognize this slogan as one that came to prominence in September 2021 as part of a Twitch boycott by streamers who felt that Twitch wasn't doing enough to crack down on the growing number of hate raids on the platform. These kind of hate raids are automated by bots and targeted at marginalized streamers or streamers of color to spam their chat with verbal abuse and slurs. Twitch's total watch time on the day of the boycott took a not insignificant 16% hit. Now, Twitch did recently announce changes to address this, including giving streamers the ability to request phone or email verification from any viewer before using their chat. Twitch also sued 2 organizers behind some of the most egregious hate raids. But for the hacker responsible for this recent leak, it looks like Twitch isn't doing enough, at least for them. Now, this also comes at a time when Twitch is going through what many people are calling an exodus of top-tier talent, as many big names leave the platform for YouTube in what is becoming an all-out contract war between the two giants. They recently lost the likes of Tim the Tapman and Dr. Looper, but did manage to keep Nick Merckx on the platform. So for Twitch, this has been a rough week in what's already been a pretty rough year. And remember, this is only part 1. The person who posted this leak to 4chan told everyone that all of this is just part 1 of what is to come. There's also going to be a part 2, maybe even a part 3. Who knows how much data they've actually got their hands on, and most importantly, what kind of information could be leaked in the not too distant future. I'm sweating. Okay. I'm sweating and I'm in the first fucking paragraph. Is it the hat? Maybe I'm sweating because of the hat. As well as details of a secret project Amazon's been working on, and also a sentence that I've said 8 times but can't remember. I think you should have some stuff from my intro. If not, I'm going to do this.